imagine you're in the 1990s. You're the manufacturer for now, McLaren, and you're in the 1990s. You look at all the cars now, which is the Ferrari F40, the Lamborghini Countach, and the Porsche 965, my bad. And you're like, these cars look fast but are slow. Well, Porsche being the only one that is the exception. So you decide, let's make a car that is a bit faster than these cars, not just look fast, is fast. Meet the McLaren F1 GTR.
Alright, so I'm back, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the intro again, and here's my run on a hot lap on the Nürburgring again, Endurance Cup with now the McLaren F1 GTR. Now I must say this is a really good car, but holy is it hard with this fast car. It is really fast. I took about 47 minutes to do this hot lap properly. Yeah, I sound like a rookie, don't I? So anyways, continuing. Now this was McLaren's prodigy car. This was the first, I think was their first ever car or something in the 1990s, besides the F1 cars, and they were like, look at these. The inspiration was, of course, to be faster than the Lamborghini Countach, the Porsches 965, and the Ferrari F40. So they were like, let's make this car fast, very fast. And did they? Yes, they did. Now, I'm first going to get down to what is in the fundamentals of this car before I get into what is. I only got two things written down, so you don't have to really worry about it before I get into its absolutely insane history on Le Mans, like the car I'm currently driving. So, let's start, will we? Its engine is, of course, since back in the day, this was 1990s, and they were using, I think they were using V12s, so they decided to put an F1 engine in there. Like, alright, we got this here, just put that in there. Now, Gordon Murray was the person who did this, and geez, did he make a beast of a car, which is this. It is fast on corners, I must say myself, and it is like a really hard car to drive on Nürburgring Endurance. Now, anyways, continuing, it is a V12 engine, and its transmission is a 6-speed manual. So, pretty basic, but you're wondering, who supported the engine? Well, it's BMW, or BMW for German. I mean, you think, why would, but because McLaren didn't really have a partnership with anyone else besides themselves, so they're like, BMW, we need some help. Okay, what do you guys need? An engine. And that's all they got needed. An absolute beast of an engine, must I say that too. Now, what else does this thing have? Well, let's go over now its race history. Now, it raced about, in Wikipedia, it says 120 plus races. Now, that is an insane amount of races. Now, you may be thinking, how much wins is this car with? 58. Now, you may be thinking, hey, that sounds bad, but let's say again, that's wins only. Imagine the amount of podiums this thing got. This thing, if it was a beast and it raced 120 races, yeah, I'm just changing the camera to make sure. 38 wins sounds pretty good for 120, but it probably got a lot of podiums more than what it got wins. And how much constructors did it get? Well, it got 3. Now that sounds good. Now this car is insane because it got 3 constructors over how many years it was in, which was 1995, I think. That's when they saw, in 1996, 1997. I think then they won 3 in a row. That's how good this car was. So, and it did do the Japanese GTR class, but this class of car was a GT1. Now continuing. It had no Drivers' Championship, but it did put 6 cars fat on pole. Yep, it got 6 pole positions. This car is remarkable. Now, as I say, I always love doing over one of my... it's one of the more boring tracks, but it's worldwide known, and it is a really good track for prototype cars to go. Which is, let's go through, it's Le Mans history. Le Mans is mostly the factor of endurance racing. It is the biggest endurance. So, of course, we need to check, what does this car do as a prototype in Le Mans? Well, let's go for it. It was first entered in 1995 for the first ever time it went into Le Mans, because they thought their car was good enough and they decided to put it in. Now, what did it do at the 1995 Le Mans? Well, it won. Yep, it plain and simple. Its first entry was like, okay, let's just put this car in, and it won. Now, where did the other cars come in? Since there was 7 cars that went to this Le Mans. Well, there was a win, there was a third, there was a fourth, and there was a fifth, and then 13th. So 5 out of 7 cars finished, which just proves how good this thing was when it came to endurance racing and how good its reliability was. Now, that's not done. Now, that is a pretty good impression when you're first coming into Le Mans. Now, you might be thinking, what do they do in the next year again at Le Mans, of course. Now, this time in 1996, when Porsche and all them was still coming into the GT1 class, this time their cars came 4th, 5th, 6th, 8th, 9th, and 11th. And they had 7 cars running, which means 6 cars out of 7 went through. Also, this turn right here is irritating with this car. It can't stick to glue like that. Yeah, so 6 out of 7 cars finished the Le Mans race. So, pretty good tally. Now, we go to 1997 when GT1 was starting to fall a bit back and their cars were becoming a bit slower compared to other cars. Now, 1997, let's hear what they did at Le Mans. I didn't like how much cars rode the cars, because I don't think they had the information about that, but they did say 2nd and 3rd overall. For a car that is slowly dying off, that is an insane, like, that is 2nd and 3rd overall, and then 1st and 2nd in class. Now that is just insane. Hands down, it is one of the faster cars. To do this over many years and still not be beaten is insane. I thought someone would beat it by now, but yeah, that's what you get for the McLaren F1 GTR. It is absolutely insane car, and I must say, around the Nürburgring, it is a harder car to drive. 47, I had to do this time, 47 minutes over and over and over. Of course, I had to eat, make your brain actually work and get energy in the system. See how far this thing around corners is a beast. Oh. The whole time I was trying it, it was lap invalid, because I could comprehend the car. Just sometimes I forget certain corners are gonna be very hard with this specific car, like the sticking part that I just said earlier. Now you may be thinking, yeah, that is all I literally wrote down now, but this is probably one of the best McLarens of its entire era. It beat out other cars which were supposed to be good in 1995 as its first enter. It's like, okay, it's like throwing a ball at someone and you never threw a ball before and you hit the target directly. Like, that would be insane. Like, well done job, son. That was probably what the McLaren's manufacturers were saying to this car. This is absolute beauty of a car, yeah. And Gordon Murray, of course, is the GOAT for making this car an absolute beast, and sounds nice too. I must say, it is one of the more nicer sounding cars, besides the Mazda 787B, which I did for my loss of Out of the Garage. And yes, this is Out of the Garage part 2, or no, episode 2, which is the McLaren F1 GTR. One of my more like cars. I like this car because I watched one video of how good it was, and I was like, damn, that is a really good car. Now you're wondering how fast they had to do this lap. Now, just saying, it is probably a bad lap compared to other people, but 852 in my books sounds good. And we were thinking, wait, 852 what? Nope, I got 852.039. So I just counted it as an 852. And you can see I'm doing clips of celebration, since I absolutely, it was mind-blowing of how long it took to do this lap. So that is the McLaren F1 GTR for you, and I'll be going. See you guys in the next video.